Good morning for those of you who are early risers, and I see fresh faces that I saw yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. Today, we've only got 30 minutes. I don't want to do a whole lot of presentation about who I am. I'm on the front cover of the show book, except I'm not wearing the same color as I was on there, and I'm on page 58. So if you want to find out whether I have a background, you can go look at the background on page 58. But we are going to be talking about merchandising today. As much as I can possibly feed to you in 30 minutes, I will talk to you about merchandising. Is that fair? How many of you are wearing that great little sign at the bottom, and I see them pretty much around, that say buyer? How many of you are proud to wear that name tag that says buyer? You should be. And how many people, when you say to someone, friends of yours, whatever, that you meet, you go, I'm a buyer, right? And they go, oh, what do they say usually? How cool. Isn't that fabulous? You are a buyer. And automatically they think you're sitting in this front row with that little piece of paper and you're watching people and you're doing all that fancy stuff, and they don't realize that you come to shows like this and you schlep all over the entire area looking for just that right product. Am I right? Okay, so it's not as easy as you might think. And how many of us, I used to be a buyer, had $1 million department for Macy's. I know what it's like to be a buyer all over the world shopping, and it's hard. And I think the hardest part is when you are buying merchandise, in your brain, you need to think about, what am I going to do with it when I get it in the store? Because sometimes, tell me I'm not wrong, that you get that merchandise and you open it up and you look at it and you go, this isn't the way it looked at the show. This isn't the way it looked in the showroom. And now all of a sudden you own it and you have to make it look good. So we're going to talk about what I believe, this is me, Ann Obarski believes, that are the three critical areas that any kind of retailer makes a mistake when it comes to merchandising. So before we can talk about actual merchandising, how many of you have a GPS? How many of you say, I don't know what I did before GPS because I couldn't refold those maps correctly? Am I right? You don't. How many of you even own a map? Some people do, you know, but you have that GPS. The GPS for me is, how am I getting people to my place? How am I getting people to come back to my store? So before we can talk about the merchandising, let me just tell you, you've been here, you've bought great merchandise, you need to let your customer know you've got that great merchandise, and you need to create a sense of urgency that they need to come to your store to see it. That's the key now. It used to be that we did business, closed the doors at 5 o'clock in the evening, and it was no big deal. Stores were closed, people would come back tomorrow morning. We are 24/7 merchandisers and merchants. People can go on the internet and buy whatever you have in this room anytime that they want to. So our goal as retailers now has changed. It's changed because of the internet. I'm not asking you to understand it all. I'm just asking you to be open-minded and use as much as you can to create a sense of urgency and excitement for the customer who is coming to your store. The other thing, and I talked about this last night, was to look at your business through a woman's eyes. 80% or more of your business probably, I'm not going to say it's absolute, but it's probably coming from women. So what are you doing in your store, in everything that you do, to create that sense of excitement and anticipation when it comes to a female? So those are important to get her to the store. Now, when we take a look at any kind of excitement, I believe, did I miss it? Let's go back. Nope, we're okay. I want to talk about the entrance, the traffic patterns, the displays, fitting rooms, and mirrors. If I said to you we were going to go see Phantom of the Opera, or if you're not from this country, if you have a theater group in your area, and we were going to go see a theater production, think about some of the anticipation that you are ready to go see. That there's all that excitement, getting to that show, getting your seat, sitting down, looking at the stage, looking at everything that's right there, the lighting, the sound system, everything, the anticipation that's coming. Well, that's what happens when we look at your business, and I call it showtime. Also, and I promised I wouldn't talk about customer service, but on a customer service end, I honestly wish I could tattoo, and there's people here who would probably do it for you, tattoo to your employees' eyelids so they see it all the time, that when they walk through the door, when they are on stage, it's showtime. There is no time for whining. There is no time for, oh, you wouldn't believe the traffic I got into. Oh, I stayed up too late last night. Oh, I don't really feel very good today. We don't care about that because it's showtime. So if we're looking at our business that way, and we're looking at our merchandising that way, and we're looking at setting the stage that way, we need to make sure that the customer is number one, and that every single day, like Disney, and I don't want to get into the Disney thing, but that's exactly what Disney does. They don't come, Mickey doesn't come out going, I really stayed out too late last night, and I was partying, and I don't really feel like putting on my Mickey Mouse outfit today. That wouldn't fly in Disney, would it? It just wouldn't, because they do a presentation just for you, nobody else. But every single day, they do it the same way. There is a consistency, and you heard me talk about that yesterday. So when we make a decision that we are setting the stage, probably the most important thing is the entrance. I'm going to go a step further. If you are in a strip center, if you are in a freestanding location, not only is the entrance important, but also the drive-in, the parking places. What does it look like prior to that customer walking into the door? Because you see, they will make an assumption about your place of business. Something so simple as the entrance of your door. Have you taken some window cleaner and cleaned off that window and that doorway to make sure that it looks neat and clean? Well, no, I'm not looking at that. Well, your customer does. For women, if they see fingerprints and dirt and cigarette butts and whatnot when they walk through the door, what is their assumption going to be? Can you tell me? That the rest of the store is what? Dirty. Of course they do. When I did a mystery shop, if you will, of a bunch of the temporary Halloween stores in my area, I live in Columbus, Ohio, I was appalled. I walked in, and the very first thing I saw at the entrance was just the carpeting looked like it hadn't been vacuumed in I don't know how long, if ever. Well, I didn't get any further than where you're sitting right now, and my assumption was, if it's dirty right here, where else is it dirty? And if I choose to try on a costume and I want to go into the fitting room, and then I look at the fitting room curtains, and they're halfway up, and there's big gaps, and I'm thinking, do I even want to take off my clothes and be in a fitting room? So I'm making assumptions sometimes based on the most basic things of what people are looking for that you may not think about. So what does the entrance look like? How many of you in here have other, let's put it this way, you either have a party store, and Halloween is, during that season, you do other things during that time of during the year. Can I see a show of hands? So you don't only do Halloween. So not only do Halloween. All right, let me just give you an idea, something for you to think about. In your mind's eye, I want you to think right now, be in your entrance of your store. You are standing at the front of the door, and you are looking in. Are you all with me? All right, I want you to mentally think, because you're all different, what do you see when you turn to the right when you walk into your store? You got it? All right, I don't know what that is. All I know is that's called a right variant. And it means that most of us, no matter what store we go into, our grocery stores, Walmart, restaurant, what have you, we walk in and we turn to the right. It's a normal habit. That's what we do. In your store, you might go, well, Ann, when we walk in, you have the choice. You can walk left or right or go straight forward. My guess is going to be even with those choices, people are still going to go to the right. That is also a very important place for merchandising. If you do not have Halloween up all the time, and you are looking to create excitement for the customer who just came through the entrance, put your Halloween, no matter how big it is, it may take up only as big as the stage. It may be this size over here, but that now becomes the focal point. So when the customer walks in, that right area should be, if you look at your inventory, it should be the area that has the items that you sell the most, the biggest classification, the highest turnover. That's where customers will spend the time. Some of you also know that here in the U.S., where do we always put the milk and bread in a grocery store? Where is it? Okay, it's in the back of the store. And if you go into some of the big box stores, you're like, holy cow, I could be walking 10 minutes before I get back to the milk, right? There is a reason for that, and that second one is traffic patterns. The idea in a store to create a good traffic pattern is to sit back and say to yourself, how can I do it either by the way that the merchandise is merchandised on fixturing, or can I do it by something different that's on the floor? If you have a temporary Halloween store, you are probably in a store that was something else prior. So you don't have the luxury of ripping up carpeting and changing the flooring, but you can create a meandering pattern, not straight line rows, going through the store. But again, what's going to be on the right-hand side? What do you want the people to see in the back end of the store, and bring them around till you finally get to some type of a register bay? Getting that traffic pattern, if you could have a mind's eye view and you would be looking over top of your store, how would it look and how would you like to have people go around? If you are from the States, how many of you have been in a Target store, and one of the very first things that you see that they do excellently is signing? In Target, when they change whatever time of the year it is, what do they do in the ceiling? What do you see when you first come in? Banners, big signing, not expensive, but it sets the stage that you know what you're going to be looking at. So if you were going into Target right now, my guess is that Valentine's Day is a very big thing. And from the ceiling, you have great signing. If you have a temporary store, sometimes it to me was very hard for me to go, well, if I'm looking for children's costumes, how can I find that? And I'm meandering. I'm walking around knowing I want to find something, but I can't. All of us like good signing. So what do you do as far as creating a traffic pattern and driving customers around the store based on big signing? If you're sitting here today, I would challenge you that if you are going to be opening in August or the 1st of September, right now, start figuring out what your traffic pattern is going to look like, what merchandise is going to draw the customer all the way around, and what kind of signing that you're going to have to be able to bring that customer full circle till they come around. The next, this is one of my favorite ones, and it's still underneath mistake number one because you're still creating that excitement in me. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to move to one comment, and I'll come back. Stay with me. I truly believe that people who are walking in your store, if it's a party center, if it's Halloween, whatever it is, are there because it is a destination. Would you not agree? They are there because there's a reason why they walked into your store. They are not bored silly. They are not sitting at home going, gosh, I really don't know what I'm going to do today. I think I'm going to go over and drive in and see this Halloween store. I'm going to go to this party center. That's not what they're thinking. They are coming in specifically because they have an issue, problem, or need, and they need you to solve it. But I also believe that that same person that comes in, and if again it's a woman, has that same need many different times during the year because you satisfy a number of those unless you are just a Halloween store. Because if you are a party store, there's birthdays and anniversaries and parties of all sorts, and she or he will make that decision that they want to come back to see you. So we know that it's a destination. We don't want to lose them to somebody else. So we're back to the entrance. We're back to the traffic pattern. And my favorite one over here is displays and fitting rooms and mirrors. When I did the mystery shopping and I was in this one temporary Halloween store, women, men, for those of you who don't know this and don't go shopping with a female, we do what my granddaughter says is, Nana, we have to show it to the mirror. Most of you women ought to be smiling. This is what we do. We take an item and we go over to the mirror. Am I right? And we hold it to the mirror. And we're waiting for the mirror to say yay or nay. Am I right? So if I don't get a yay or nay, I may not buy it. I don't need to, so come on ladies, you're with me, don't even need to go in the fitting room to try it on. If the mirror says there is a nanosecond of a chance that this is going to look fabulous, I'm going to buy it. I walked around in this Halloween store and it was huge. It was an old Circuit City, so it was huge. And I walked around never finding a mirror. There should be mirrors everywhere, and you could make them really cool. You could find old mirrors and beat up mirrors and mirrors with, fog on them and whatever. I'll figure it out, but I need a mirror. The other one is displays. I was very put out, if you will, that some of the displays looked like worse than a child would put together with cords and messy and no thought pattern. I want you to leave here today and say to yourself, I've got 8 months to plan this. Retailers who do not make the conscious effort of planning displays will have things thrown together haphazardly. If I was to ask you, and I don't want to see a show of hands, how many of you in here love to merchandise? Love to merchandise. I'm going to guess that there's probably only a handful. Some of you do it because you have to. I bought it. I think I know how to display it, so I'm going to put it up, and I'm going to try my best at it. Trying your best at it anymore doesn't work to make me come back and say, I want to tell everybody about this great display you have. So I'm going to challenge you to maybe call a theater group, maybe call a local two-year college that has interior design students. Get somebody off of Craigslist that you can get in to build a great display specifically for your Halloween merchandise. You won't believe the difference. It will be unusual. It will be different. Take a look at this chick. I was on a website looking for pictures, different pictures, Halloween pictures. And I saw her and I thought, what if you just had her when you came into your store with that wild outfit on? Does that look like you got an old beat-up mannequin somewhere that's missing a cheek over here and whose hand goes like this and you can't get the leg in? You know, we've all had them. No, this looks like it's purposeful. We only needed her to create a theme, and that's going to be another question I'm going to ask you. Do you have in your head, and think from now until Halloween, what's the theme I want for it to be for Halloween? You go, but Ann, there's no theme. I'm not so sure. How many of you like watching, I was just watching it last night in the hotel room, Once Upon a Time? Anybody watch Once Upon a Time, Grimm's Fairy Tales? If you don't, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever, it is bizarre, and those costumes, am I right, are to die for. And if it was me next Halloween, baby, I don't think I want to be dressed as the Wicked Witch, but those costumes are fabulous. But if it isn't that show, what is it that you want to create as a theme and make those displays work with that theme? Make sure you have it planned. If you were a corporation, you'd have what's called a planogram. Every single one of your stores would be about the same. All the displays would be about the same, and they'd give you that stuff to make those displays. This is the best place to go out and take a look at those displays that you can do in a small area. Make them special, make them tight, make them look unusual that you'll want to buy from them. Have I said enough on that one? All right, mistake number 2. Fixtures, store operation standards, and flexibility. Fixtures. I have an issue with fixtures. And I'm going to bring us back to some of the box stores, big box stores, because I think they do them well. I'm also a very big advocate, if you live in the United States, of 2 people that I think that do a phenomenal job on display and merchandising. And those 2 are Williams & Sonoma and Pottery Barn, interestingly owned by the same owner. But if you go in there, they are a wonderful education in what good merchandising, good stocking, good display is. Do you look like you're in business, or do you look like you're out of business? When you get those wonderful pegs that are missing things, and there's gaps in between the pegs, and some of the pegs don't have anything on them, and they're from 12 feet high to down here. It makes me look at it like, okay, do you really believe in this? So I'm going to give you a little, hopefully this is one little thing that you can take home. In display and in merchandising, if you can think about to merchandise, and I'm going to go a little higher. I normally say between your shoulders and your knees, if you're standing there, that is a very good area for the customer to look at. Since some of you, especially in a pop-up, you have very, very high ceilings, almost as high maybe as we have in here. So some of your grid work might be 15 feet tall. I'm still going to say take it almost from your eye level to your knees. If you've ever been in a Bed Bath & Beyond here in the States, for those of you who love Bed Bath & Beyond, you must have the ability to reach 30 feet in the air. But if you know what I'm talking about, you walk in and it's like, are you serious? First of all, who put that up there? And second of all, how would I ever get it if I wanted it? Good display, good merchandising is what I call a silent salesperson. It's out there for you to take hold of, and if you do it well, the customer doesn't necessarily need the fabulous customer service. They just need to be able to get it down and to see it. Paco Underhill, in his book on why women buy, says that there is a thing called butt brush. Now, because I'm up here on the stage, this is really a good visual for you, but I don't want to do this. Because if I do this, somebody's going to come back and hit my butt. And women don't like to get their butts hit. So, I mean, I suppose there's a few of them out there, but the point being, I don't want to have to bend over. So that area in between here and here is where I want to buy. In a grocery store, the people who have the lowest level pay the least for that because customer's not going to go down there and pick up that can of soup on the bottom if they can pick up a different one that's right here. So your visual needs to be tight. What I believe is vice it. Get it to the point where you front it and you get things that are tight on every single pin, every single grid work, whatever you have, so it looks like you're in business. Also, as you're selling down, especially if you have a pop-up store, this is a perfect example over here with these drapery stands, if you will. At night, when you close the doors and you see that you've sold down, tighten in the merchandise, get rid of some of the fixtures, move those up, so when the customer walks in, the customer isn't saying, oh, they're not in business. It's like, wow, look at all the merchandise that they have. Because you are selling down on it every single day, but have your employees tighten it up and make it look like you are in business. I am very, very big on that, and I think that the stores that do that really well, it bodes well for their sales because people walk in and go, oh, I see what you have, I know what it is, and I want it. All right, my third one that really, I think it's a problem for most stores. I don't care what kind of store it is. Most stores do not have enough lighting. Don't have enough lighting. They don't have enough spotlighting. Oh, but Ann, I'm doing a pop-up store and all they had was that fluorescent lighting in the ceiling. Okay, it's 9 months before or 8 months before Halloween. Go to your local store, your hardware store or Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever you have, and get some track lighting. Figure out some spotlighting. Get the lighting in the store. I was just walking the show over here, and I don't know whose it is, but and you couldn't do this. We were just talking about it earlier. It's the one that's white, and it's got 2 levels, and they've got all the wonderful costumes and whatnot. I don't know. Do you know who I'm talking about there in the middle of the show over here? They sell costumes. Who is it? Ruby's? Okay. Just go look. And here's what I want you to do. He's going to follow me. I want you to walk in to the front end of Ruby's. Now, they've got 2 entrances. I want you to walk in, and I want you to go in about 4 feet, and I want you to stop. And I want you to experience what that feels like. Because it is totally against what I would have expected here. The carpet's white. The walls are white. The lighting in there is just unbelievable. The forms underneath the costumes are white. Everything pops. Now, there is no way in this world any of us would have white carpeting in our stores, right? But I want you to feel that, because you need to take away from here little ideas that can help in your store. Another wonderful little booth over here, and there's a couple of them, do the LED lights kind of things that you wear as necklaces and whatnot. Every customer that walks into your store ought to be leaving with one of those. I've got a 18-month-old and a 5-year-old granddaughter. I went into the Halloween stores looking for that because I want them to be seen, right? But I'm also thinking, oh, they could wear that later. Well, some of them have them with black velvet, what have you. It just pops. It just gets your attention. Again, that's what you want. You want something that is getting their attention, creating excitement, and they're going, oh, I have to get that the next time I come in. But that ought to be an add-on sale no matter what. That doesn't cost very much. If somebody's buying a costume, they're buying something that has that light-up feeling to it. So when you look at those kind of things, what can you do different? There's a guy up here. I think this is great. Personally, I would buy it just to have something at the register. It's the guy that's got the fluorescent teeth that you put in a pumpkin. Have you seen that? The guy that was – is that not like the best idea in the world? He is wearing fangs. Now, he was yesterday. So if you go see him, he's wearing these fangs. And I'm thinking to myself, what a great idea. If you're carving a pumpkin, is it not a pain in the neck to do the teeth, right? So he's got all these teeth that go in there, but they're fluorescent. So what does he have? A small light, black light, that faces up on that pumpkin. And all you see are those teeth. What a great idea. But it was with lighting. If the lighting wasn't on it, would it be the same? If you put it outside the store in the sun, would it be the same? I don't think so. So the idea is, what are you doing on lighting that you can do? Flood lighting, spot lighting, up lighting, lighting for your, if you're doing a haunted house display, how are you taking your customer from the bright lights and then saying, oh, but you have to come back here, because this is where the milk is, right? It's not the milk. This, where we're going back here is for the true Halloween stuff, because we want to get back there. And the idea, and I said this yesterday, is to create an experience that X means how many times will they come back, bring their friends, bring them to this destination shop, and buy more stuff every single time. So if they're setting up their houses, they're doing their display stuff, and they go, oh, I need to go back to that store because they had the great what? I don't know what it is, but they're coming back. Oh, I need to bring my best friend with me because I need to show her what they have over here. Oh, and so like the next time that I come back, oh, and they had something else. I couldn't buy it out of this much grocery money, but I'm going to get that next time. Most of you have been with me, and most of you know that that's what will create your business. Repeat referral business. I don't care if you've got a florist store, a hardware store, a grocery center, don't make any difference. How many times can we get the customer to come back? I believe it's about your merchandising. I believe it's about the stage. I believe that it is also about the products that you have and how you're using your fixtures. Talk to your vendors. Ask them the best ways to display. Ask them who's doing it best. Your number one customer, how are they displaying this? If I only have 12 pieces, how can I best display this to get the customer to say, oh, I have to have that? Are you doing it by giving your customer information this way? Get me back. Building that social media. I know this is not part of merchandising, but if you want to create excitement, you're standing over there right today, taking a picture in front of something you're buying, you're uploading it to YouTube, and you're saying to your customer, I'm at the Halloween show, wait till you see what we're bringing in, because now I've got that excitement going, when's it going to be October? It's only February. I don't care about Halloween. I don't care about Valentine's Day. I want it to be Halloween. I want to see what they're bringing in. People are doing that constantly. Blog on it. Put it on your website. Do whatever you do, but do it in quality and make sure that it's your brand, that when people see you, they go, I cannot wait to go into that store. I will tell you, I don't care how much the ones that are in my area put out anything on Facebook or Twitter or their website or anything else, because my experience was so bad in 5 of them last October, I choose not to go back. So if you open up a store, maybe I'll get on a plane and come to you. But I'm not going back there because I was not happy with the way they merchandise their store, their operations methods of keeping the store clean and neat and look like it was stocked, as well as some of their customer service. So to do it better, you know, it used to be people would give you 3 strikes and you're out. I don't think they do that anymore. I think it's 1 strike. I think people say, you know what? I don't have to go there. I can go online. How many of you that makes the back of your neck crawl? Okay? And it might be, don't think about it, Peter talked about it yesterday, you can do e-commerce. Pick one classification that you could physically make money at by being able to take orders online and sell that product online 12 months out of the year if you don't do Halloween the whole time. What's one classification that people would be looking for? It could be masks, it could be makeup, whatever it is. Create that bit that I know that you always have it. And so that I know that, gosh, I buy that from them all the time. I can't wait till they open it in October because it's going to be great merchandise. All right? So, in theater, the audience wants to be surprised by what they expect. They expect to see Halloween. They don't expect to see it messy. They expect it to be fun. They expect to bring their children in. They expect that the children will go, please, can I have that, please? When did we lose pester power? Kids are the ones that will come in and pester us, right? Can I please have that? Oh, I want to go back. Can you take me back there, please? They were doing a makeup demonstration. I want to look like that. How many of you have ever been taking your kids to face painting? They get this tiny little thing over here that's face painting, and they will stand in line for an hour to get their face painted. I saw these chicks over here yesterday get this whole body paint. I'm not sure I'd stand in line for that. But wasn't it amazing if you were watching it? I mean, I was looking at that going, wow, what if you got a theater major into your store showing face painting? How much more makeup, how much more face paint, how much more could you sell if you got them interacting and they saw that? So being able to create theater in your stores is tremendous business building. So that's me. It's 10 o'clock. I'm 3 minutes over, I think. I do have that available. I'm not allowed to say it. So if you've got questions for me, please ask me, but please make sure you look at your store layout as theater, that you've got the products out there for the customer to buy, and that you make sure that they can see them through lighting and signage and every great thing, because you schlepped all over this floor finding the right thing, wearing that buyer sign. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed.